My friends, there has been so much lunacy going on as of late. This entire week has just been crazy, and it's not just one lolcow doing it. We got like 7 to talk about here today. Some of these folks are people we've already covered on the channel this week. However, now we have updates to their stories, such as Nova, and the one I'm really excited to talk about, old Chris Chan. And then we got some people that I have not talked about in quite a while, if not at all, ever. So it's going to be a pretty interesting one here today. Just to give you guys a few updates on people who I'm not going to get into in the video. Bossman Jack got released from jail and immediately won $80,000. Believe he's now lost it since then, but I mean, come on now, we all knew it wasn't going to stick. White Bowser has decided to leave the internet again after returning, shaving his head, and expecting to get a W on the trolls. Did not work that way. I don't know what's going on, but it really seems like the summer is bringing out the absolute worst in some of these lolcows. Last year, I had claimed that summer 2023 was the summer of the cow, and it looks like I was just about a year too early. So, my friends, with all that being said, let's get into the video, and we're going to start with everybody's favorite Virginian, old Kristen Weston Chandler. So earlier this week, I had done a video talking about how Chris had done maybe the worst live stream of all time, and then at the end of the video, I brought up that he was spotted again with his prospective love interest Flutter, and every time I say that, I have to reiterate that we don't know if they're a couple, they may just be friends, she may just be wrangling him, who knows. But they've been spotted together quite a lot again after not being seen together for quite a while, and then these new pictures came out of Chris at a grocery store walking down the frozen foods aisle, and you may not notice anything out of the ordinary about this picture, but if you look just right under Chris's left arm, you'll see some blonde hair, and then you realize, oh man, Flutter is standing behind Chris. Now this is a very small woman, as you can see right here. Like all the pictures of her and Chris towers over her. And again, it's another one of these cryptid style pictures where you can't fully see her face. Now, there is a perfectly logical explanation for this. People obviously want to take pictures from afar, and I brought it up before that maybe Flutter, she's aware that people are always looking out to try to get pictures of Chris and the people he's with, and so she purposely tries to go incognito, tries to not be seen as much as possible. However, it's getting to the point now where this is just getting ridiculous. Every single picture that comes out of these two is the same type of thing. You can just barely make out her face, and that's that. However, there is a theory out there that people are throwing around saying that Chris, Flutter, and Caden, the guy who's Chris is staying at his house, all of them are doing this on purpose. Caden is the one going out and taking these pictures of them, putting them up online just to get people to talk about Chris. Now, I know obviously that seems like it's pretty far-fetched, but people are noticing that a lot of the times these pictures get posted, they're posted on Reddit, and they're posted by accounts that really don't have any other posting history before that. And I'm not saying that's concrete evidence that this is them trying to set up some elaborate scheme. However, it's always so odd. Now, these pictures here were apparently not taken by Caden. These were taken by some woman at a grocery store, and what she claimed is some pretty weird stuff. Now, she wrote these in some comments on Reddit, so obviously, 100% take this with a grain of salt, but the person who posted these said that they overheard a conversation between Chris and Flutter, and what really caught them off guard is that Flutter talks in a anime girl voice. I don't know how to describe it, but you know what I'm talking about here. She talks very very high-pitched, I guess, kind of childish, and this now has spawned a lot of theories that they have some very odd dynamic together that I think you can put the pieces to, that maybe Chris is a father figure to her. Now, obviously, this is just massive speculation on my part and the part of a lot of people I see throwing out this theory, but I'll tell you this much. Something else came out the other day that kind of made this have a little more weight. But before I get into that, I want to ask you guys, as of right now, what you think about this situation. Is that enough for you to say, you know what, maybe there is some weird dynamic going on there between these two? I'll tell you this much, Chris loves anime and stuff, so maybe she's just doing this to keep him entertained or something? I don't know. I'll admit, I think that theory is a bit out there myself. However, when this video of Chris driving around with her in the backseat of his car dropped, yeah, now I think it may have just a little more merit to it. Now, this video, I don't know where the hell this came from. All I know is, now it really gets me thinking that there's some shenanigans afoot. Because who's gonna drive up to Chris this close, record him like that, and then, to top it all off, you end the video as soon as Flutter's face is starting to be shown yet again. You can see right there, it looks like there's nobody in the passenger seat, so it's not like Flutter couldn't have just jumped up there. Something that may actually be the case here, and you guys can let me know in the comments how wrong I am, but is there a chance she may be too small to sit in the front seat? Like, you know, it could be a danger to her to just sit up there? I don't know. I don't know, but it's quite odd that this is how they get around, that she just sits in the back seat and Chris is kind of like her chauffeur. But like, this is such an odd video. Like, how did somebody, like, how did you notice, for one, this was Chris's car? I mean, yeah, all the stickers and the Sonichu license plate, I get it, it gives it away. But like, I feel like I wouldn't notice this type of thing. Like, holy shit, is that Chris in the car next to me? And then they're thorough enough to make sure that they show that Flutter is in fact in the back seat. However, not thorough enough to keep the lens on her for more than like half a second before they went right back to Chris. Kind of an odd situation here. I really don't know what to make of this. Chris is being cited with Flutter a lot more, and if this is real, like if this is a real video, people are now like driving up to him on the highway and taking pictures of him, which is just, it's kind of dangerous. I mean, I know people really want to get pictures of Chris, but it's not that important. You do not need to do this on the road, but it's really weird. And I think as time goes on, we're going to find out a lot more about this, especially if Chris goes live and people start asking him questions about this. Knowing Chris, he will probably crack, but it'll be interesting to see what happens next with the old Chris story. Another person who's had an interesting week, but probably a more lousy one than Chris, is old Nova Online. Because you see, Nova's doing what they always do, doing these TikTok food reviews, whether it be out at a restaurant or just in his backyard. Nova gets it done wherever he's at, but you know where he's not going to get anything done anymore? His workplace, because he got fired. Like I don't know what is going on in Nova's life right now. However, he is banned from karaoke night. He got fired from his job. It is not a good time to be Nova. As we covered in last week's video, he was recently caught talking to another 15-year-old girl, and he was doing this right out in the open. He started a podcast directed at myself, Kiwi Tapes, and Sensitive Society called The Hour of Joy, where he was going to take down like everyone who was going at him, and his co-host the entire time ended up being a 15-year-old girl or someone who was claiming to be 15. Now, the worst thing about this is that Nova was apparently aware of the age of 15 the entire time, even going as far as to like flirt with this girl on some occasions. Really weird situation, but now Nova has basically walked all of it back and claimed that because that girl was a troll, well, screw her. You know, he's done with all this trolling stuff. Always trying to vilify someone else when he himself is the real like villain in this situation. It sounds so crazy to call Nova, of all people, a villain, because I mean, just look at this dude, but he really is a dangerous individual, especially around minors, because he's shown no signs of wanting to change either. If he did, he would have when he got exposed for all that Discord nonsense last year, but no, here we are again, 1 year fast forward, and he is talking to another minor. Really weird situation. But of course, Nova is back to just making daily TikToks, and one of them he put up a few days ago was this sad TikTok right here where he simply says, "I just lost my job." Now, I don't know how he lost his job, whether it was something of his own doing, like messing up, or maybe like being tardy and not showing up to work, or if it was the internet's doing, because obviously he just got exposed talking to another 15-year-old. I'd imagine that's something people contacted his job about, and I would presume it's the latter, just because this is the same way that Nova got banned from karaoke night a few weeks back, and it seems like the walls are closing in on Nova. He lost his podcast, he's now lost his job, no more karaoke night, and he's even putting up TikToks now like this one you see on screen, where he's questioning why so many Lolcows have it out for him. You know, him and Tofia have had a feud for quite a long time, then White Bowser called him out last week, and then I'm pretty sure Jupiter has had some words about that. That's probably my fault. If there's anything ever between Jupiter and Nova, I'll take responsibility, because at one point during the old Jupiter interview, I told him that Nova was just talking, just boatloads of trash on him knew and that he needed to figure it out. But honestly, Nova's dealing with it from all angles, and it's going to be very interesting to see how his story turns out the next few weeks as well, because I'm pretty sure with all the pressure on him and all these people criticizing him for talking to another minor again, he's probably going to run for the hills. But again, if anything happens on the Nova front, I'll be sure to update you guys.
Yeah, but Boogie,
I'm just telling you what my doctor says. I just do what my doctor tells me.
I love how it's like he just shifts the blame to his doctor. Just shifts the blame right to the doctor. The doctor's the fucking guy.
Me alive. I'm a 50-year-old, 400-pound man. Do you have any idea how rare that is? A lot of fat influencers are dead by 30. A lot of them are dead by 40.
You're switching to you're deflecting. You're going to something else. You are moving all of the fucking
so when my doctor,
you're moving all of the fucking
to do something, I do it. If he tells me to take a pill, I take a pill. If he tells me to go get a test,
if your doctor gave you a diagnosis,
if he gives me a diagnosis, I fucking believe him. Yes,
you are not showing the diagnosis. You're
just my entire medical records today.
Nobody's asking you to blatantly show your entire record. I don't want to see Chad.
So where we last left off with Boogie2988, he was on the same podcast, his Lolcow Live that he does every week with Keemstar, Wings, and Tommy C, and he was getting grilled by people like Destiny and Mr. Medicare, who were all calling him out on his faked cancer. Now, Boogie still has remained adamant that this is real, or at least he thinks it's real, and everybody else is just being assholes in this situation. However, everybody else, when coming to him asking him for proof, has been just told to piss off, because that's Boogie's only excuse here. He's saying that he doesn't want to show the medical papers, and that hasn't changed. You see, after last week's video and last week's stream where Boogie got called out by like the entire internet, he ran. He deleted his Twitter, and he was nowhere to be found for a few days. A video dropped of him like screaming at CoffeeZilla, and for the most part, everyone knew Boogie was gone, but not for good. Because Boogie could never stay away, especially when there's a paycheck on the line. And you know old Keem was willing to pay it. So, Boogie then reinstates his Twitter. He comes back and basically says, hey, everyone's saying I'm faking my cancer, I'm not, yada yada yada. It's just more of Boogie's saying garble of him saying that he's not going to show any proof, but you just gotta believe him because he's a good guy, you know? Why would I lie about this? This is such a terrible thing for me to lie about. Like, yeah, it is. So that's why people are calling you out on this. And then last night he went back on the Lolcow Live podcast to confront everybody, and instead of Destiny and Mr. Medicare, this time Mudahar was on there, somebody who's always had bad blood with Boogie, but Mudahar, just like everybody else, put Boogie in his place. This entire stream will be linked down in the description below, and honestly, Boogie was just sitting there screaming, dropping F-bombs, and really not proving anything yet again. This has been the constant with this entire situation. He keeps coming back and trying to defend himself with nothing to show for it. Now, I will say this, apparently there's something in the works that I almost can guarantee beyond a shadow of a doubt will not happen, and that's that Keemstar is trying to get Boogie like some bone marrow thing to check if there actually is cancer there. But I bet you this, even if it does happen, Boogie will then get his papers and say, well, thanks for paying for it, Keem, but you're not seeing these papers. I know what's on them now, and I can see that I, beyond a shadow of a doubt, have cancer, and he won't let anybody know. And that's genuinely how I predict this to go, if he does actually go and get it, which even that I don't think he will. Boogie has become one of the most reviled people on the internet this week, and the only thing that's kept him from getting, I think, like 10 times more hate is the fact that Destiny is now getting most of that hate. But this whole situation has been a complete roller coaster, because you'd imagine that after he did this, Keemstar would be like, no, you're fired from the podcast, no more paycheck for you, Boogie, because you've just proven to be one of the biggest pieces of shit on the internet. But then you remember, this is the Lolcow podcast. Of course Keem's going to keep him around because it's the biggest story they've ever had, and one of the biggest stories on the internet this year. So if anything more happens with this one, I'll be sure to let you know, but you probably should check this stream out just to see Boogie flail yet again, and just expect this to keep on happening. In about a week or two, Boogie will be back to making regular content, forgetting about all this, but the internet never forgets. And no matter how long he stays on here, he's always going to have that stigma now of a dude who faked a horrible disease just to try to get sympathy and donations off of people, and it's just a really messed up situation. In this video here, Boogie claimed that back when he made his initial upload announcing that he had cancer, he implored people to go donate to St. Jude's and didn't even monetize the video, and then within a minute or two says, yeah, I did make like $120 off that video, and there's no proof that he ever asked people to go donate to St. Jude's. So this dude is just increasingly proving himself to be more and more of just the worst person around, and it's not going to change, and he's probably not going to redeem himself anytime soon. And you know what's really awesome, ladies and gentlemen, is that I don't even need to change up the footage in order to show you guys who we're talking about next, because one of these 5 guys on screen right now is really not having a good week. I know Boogie's having the worst week, but somebody else up here is right behind him, because old Jordy Jordan decided to get on his stream a few nights back, and he was like looking at cars or something on his internet browser, and while he was typing stuff in, some people were able to freeze the stream and see something down at the bottom of his recent search results. And what that thing was, it was a link to an NSFW website where Wings was looking up BBC trans stuff. So like Wings is beating the racism allegations. Let's just say that. But he's definitely watching some weird stuff online. Now, Jordy is obviously trying to sweep this under the rug. The other night during that aforementioned Boogie stream, it was brought up like once or twice. I didn't see any more if like Wings was pressed on this. I don't know if he has. I know his chat's been pressing the shit out of him every time he goes live. But as you can imagine, Wings is trying to act like this is just a giant nothing burger and nobody should care because it's not like it's real. It's just, he always has an excuse for this type of stuff. I guess what he's trying to say now is that no, he's never liked that kind of NSFW material. And, again, you can't say that when people saw in your search history that that's what you're getting down with. Now, maybe he'll try to blame it on his wife. And if that's the case, that would make this like 10 times more funny. He's probably in the other room with her being like, baby, please, I need you to take the fall for this so fucking bad. I don't want them to think I like big black. But man, is he so lucky that all this Boogie stuff is going on at the same time, isn't he? Like, we just talked about it, how like Boogie's lucky that Destiny's getting like an insurmountable amount of shit for his comments about what happened to Trump the other day. And so now that that's going on with Destiny, and Destiny was the one who was really at the forefront of showing Boogie why he was wrong here, Boogie now thinks he has like some type of an out. And now Wings, with everything going on with Boogie, 100% has an out here because he's not getting pressed on this at all. Now, honestly, had this happened any other week, I bet you Lolcow Live would have run it as, Wings was looking up, what? Wings enjoys what in his mouth? But yeah, old Jory Jordan, I haven't covered him on this channel in so long. I have an old documentary I made on Wings back years ago. And really, for the most part, I haven't covered him since he, had that sit-down interview with his neighbor after his neighbor went to the troll discords and exposed a bunch of stuff about Jordy. I mean, Wings has like a fairly eventful life with all the trolls. I mean, like, life in general, no, Wings sits in his chair all day. But when the trolls get involved, shit can get a bit ridiculous. So that's really the only times I ever cover old Richard Jordan. But today seemed like something that I had to talk about because I've seen this pop up from time to time, and it's so crazy that all this is going on in the same week that Boogie's getting all of his shit because it kind of got drowned out. But yes, Wings was looking up like probably a Ford Raptor or something, and this came up right in his search results. And again, I don't know how he's going to try to play this off. This is something the trolls are going to use against him for years to come. But Wings will then always try to say, nah, man, stop bullshitting me. You know I'm not into that. You know he's into that, or else it wouldn't have shown up in your search results. Luckily for Wingo, though, we live in a very accepting time. Alright, so this guy, old LTG, Hightailed Dale, he is, let me tell you something, Dale Wilson is somebody I've never spoke on this channel, and there's a reason I'm not showing footage either, because he's known to quickly copyright strike shit down. Now, I could also see his rabid fan base coming over here and flagging down this video, so if you like this one, you might want to download it just for this section alone. But this on screen, again, is LTG. You may know him from the memes, you should love yourself now, recently he was even a host or a presenter at the Game Awards. That didn't go over too well, but he is one of the most toxic live streamers to ever walk the face of the earth. Now, if you want a good laugh, if you want to like spend an afternoon doing this, I would suggest looking up LTG rage compilations, and you will find so many as recently as like yesterday probably uploaded. There's so much of this man just talking shit, completely unwarranted shit, might I add, especially when he loses the game. About, I would say 7 out of 10 games he seems like he loses, and he's never a good sport about it. He always calls out the opponent for cheating or playing like a bitch, and he won't even let people see the end of the matches. If he knows he's gonna lose, he immediately dashboards so you can't see the loss. Now, this may be just like, menial shit. You're thinking, man, Boogie did some terrible stuff, Chris Chan did some terrible stuff, Nova did some terrible stuff, hell, even Wingo did. What did this guy do that's so bad? Well, to start, he once treated June the King so horribly after June made a simple documentary on old Dale right here. He got his audience to go after June, to dox him, to do all this terrible stuff just because LTG doesn't like his story being put out there. Another thing, and I'm going to say this right now, this is an allegation, but it's an allegation that many in the detractor community of LTG like to talk about, and that's the fact that low tier god, that's not what LTG stands for. Apparently it stands for low tier groomer, and that's because when Dale was 29, he was visiting like a 17-year-old girl on a weekly basis at a park. There's also rumors now that this could come back into play with the story we're about to talk about here, but there's a lot of reasons people don't like this guy. And recently, it was revealed that Dale has over $120,000 in debt. Now, what is all this debt for? Apparently some car stuff that he had like no reason to pay this much money for, but also something else that people figured out is that he is apparently paying child support. And I take that back right after I said it. He has child support, but I'm not sure if he's paying it, because now there are allegations going around that he has a 10-year-old daughter that he's like never mentioned, never brought up. And when people have brought this up to Dale on stream, he has not been having it. He keeps saying, it's a lie, everything's a lie. The documentary June the King did on him that was completely factual, that's a fake documentary. He's one of these guys kind of like Boogie in that sense, where he's like saying everyone else is lying, just trust me, guys. Like, there may be proof out there, but I'm telling you the truth. And as I brought up before, he has a very rabid fan base that will just believe him on a whim. And these people in his fan base, man, I'm telling you right now, it's a very odd situation, because you go over there to any low-tier god stream, it's just a bunch of people who you get the impression that they were bullied in school, and they've tried to find a place where they can come and act hard and kind of be like looked at as somebody. And for the low price of constantly throwing money at LTG, you can get a membership badge and basically be able to talk all the shit you want on anyone who LTG decides to talk shit on. So that's why I think these people get so giddy to just go at anybody who LTG doesn't like, whether it be detractors or people he's playing in video games. That chat is so quick to talk so much shit on just about anybody, and it gives me the impression that, man, these people are just looking for some type of outlet to let their anger out. Now, you may be wondering where that opinion comes from, and it just comes from me sitting down and watching a few LTG streams. Some of the people with higher badges, or like, they've been subscribed longer, these people act like complete assholes in the chat, and it's something I've noticed for a long time now. Everyone thinks they are hot shit, and well, it's like, this is the man you're kissing up to now. The dude who won't even pay child support, is $120K in debt, and is really just one of the worst overall people on the internet. I highly suggest you guys look up LTG content that's not his own. Listen to what people got to say about this guy, because really, if you don't know much about him, you're gonna want to learn. Oh man, has it been a long time since we talked about everybody's favorite satellite victim, Tony Chase. Now, I know Tony may not be a lot of you guys' cup of tea, and that's because we talk about a lot of predators on this channel, a lot of pieces of shit, a lot of not good people. But Tony is just a highly confused soul in this crazy world we live in, and he's just trying to get by like the rest of us. It doesn't really matter that he may have schizophrenia. Also doesn't matter that he may smoke a bit of the crystal. Tony's a good guy, at least as far as I'm concerned. I don't know anything about Tony's history, but the people love Tony. And so I thought, why not throw him in here and we'll look at what old Tony's been up to recently. And the thing is, he's come a long way from his like 10 uploads a day where he's ranting about the government. Now he's only uploading like 1 upload every few days ranting about the government. And this has thrown a lot of people who like follow Tony's story off. Because when he's like just radio silent for a few days, people always expect the worst. And rightfully so, because Tony is like, he lives on his own. I mean, it's not like it's that crazy for someone Tony's age to just live on his own, but he's not all there, and people worry about him quite a lot. So then eventually a video comes out or an Instagram post gets put up, and people can breathe a sigh of relief. However, it's been 8 days since this video was uploaded, and we haven't heard anything from Tony since. But if this video is any indicator, he's been cleaning up, he's got a new phone with a nicer camera, so I guess we can all hope that things are going good for Tony. And that is until, well, you start hearing what he's saying in the video, because that damn government man is still giving Tony all the problems in the world, and just when you think things are all cool, that damn government sneaks up and gets you. So let's see what Tony's talking about.
And this is so serious, you know, these government people have tasered me, they tried to strip search me, they tried to me, they tried to steal my identity. Those people have to get prosecuted, no matter what, and they have to get sued, no matter what. In reference to the information, these government people, or in reference to the Treasury, not being able to recognize a hostage situation. What does the Treasury have this situation documented as? From the day I got kidnapped from my mother and father's mansions. What are you calling it, Treasury Department? And you know, me being one person that lives by themselves, and I have a cat, you know, I live by myself with my cat. For it to be so difficult for the Treasury when they have information or documents of financial accounts that my parents had for me at the Treasury, and me being only one person, and all these people that ganged up on me or that have slandered my character, and the Treasury couldn't see through the shit. They couldn't see that these people are scam artists, con artists, thieves, manipulators, rapers, and con artists, whoever they are, you know, poachers, human trafficking crimes of these people, you know, people trying to gold dig, people trying to steal from me. And for the Treasury not to be able to recognize the hostage situation and me not receiving any lawsuit monies or benefits or insurance monies or from this whole situation up to this point, I've received nothing. Oh yeah, I was working, they were burning my feet and they're hitting me in the teeth. They're hitting me in the teeth right now, the front teeth. More lawsuits every day.
So as you can see, it is not getting better for Tony. These government people are still like harassing him and assaulting him in numerous different ways, and then they won't take this like hostage crisis that he himself is in seriously. You know, he yells at the government all the time that there is a royal protocol out there, and in that royal protocol it says that Tony can do and say and basically I mean, he can just do whatever he wants. Tony can do whatever he wants without any fear of being prosecuted for anything, and the fact that him out of all people, the royal bloodline man himself, is not being helped by the government, it's a travesty. It's an absolute travesty. He then goes on to list all the things these people are. I mean, some are pretty like tame, like gold diggers, then he gets up to like, you know, human traffickers. There's a lot of dark shit going on in this world that Tony has built up in his head, but it's not his fault, because Tony is not all there. Again though, it's always good to keep tabs on him every now and again just to see if Tony's alright, and this is kind of just a day in his normal life, sitting here screaming about the government. So if he's doing this, I'm just going to chalk it up to Tony having a normal day. And now, somebody who I did not think we were going to be talking about today. This is a weird one.
Alrighty. So, hi everyone, my name is Daniel Larson. I have some very terrible news to put out, and no one's going to like this.
So yeah, first off, let me just get this out of the way. Daniel Larson is not out of jail, nor does he have a phone in jail. However, I'm getting so many comments about this situation because a TikTok account entitled Daniel Larson Prison has popped up and is posting videos like this. Now, as you can imagine, seeing Daniel like this in the orange shirt made people go, holy shit, like he's either got a phone in there or he's out. But no, these are videos from I think back in October of 2023 when Daniel was staying somewhere overnight and happened to have an orange shirt on. They're posting one of these like every couple days to make you think Daniel's out there actively making content, but he is not. And I hate to kind of ruin this guy's whole gimmick, but at the same time I've gotten like 100 comments asking if Daniel Larson is back, and no, if you see these videos going around, please just know that they are old and Daniel is still firmly behind bars right next to his cellmate Jared Fogle. However, if you thought that was the only reason I lumped Daniel Larson in here, you would be wrong, because I gotta now point you over to Kasari's channel. Kasari is someone who's done a lot of great documentaries on Daniel Larson, and I assume you've probably seen them before, but if not, his link will be down in the description below, and he posted this community post a few days back in regards to an update on Daniel's case. He says on May 23rd, Daniel Larson was ordered to have a mental health evaluation to see if he can stand trial or plead guilty. Because of this, the judge canceled the hearings scheduled for today and yesterday, depending on where you live, 7/10/24 and 7/15/24. All future court dates have been canceled. Daniel is now in a mental health facility for an indefinite period of time. This means the legal proceedings against him are on hold for now. Now, I had not heard anything about these like recent court hearings. I had heard that Daniel was in one on the 10th, but then again, nothing else really came of it. If there was big news, I imagine I would have heard it, and same for the 15th. I hadn't heard anything from these hearings, so I imagine that Daniel is still in jail. Now, it says there that they were canceled. However, I heard like from so many people that these were going on, so I'm not really too sure either way. Obviously, these are things that are like recorded. There's live streams for them, but nobody is able to screen record them and put them online because that's just, you can't do that. Apparently it's illegal. So I don't know what is going on here. All I know is Daniel is still 100% in jail, and as of right now, it doesn't seem like there's really anything going on until more of these mental health evaluations are done taking place. Court order summary. The court granted a motion for Daniel to have a psychiatric evaluation to determine if he is mentally competent to understand the trial or to assist in his defense. He will stay in custody and be taken to a facility for evaluation. The evaluation period can take up to 30 days with the possible extension of 15 days. After the evaluation, a report will be made to decide if he can waive his right to trial and plead guilty. All court dates are vacated until he is found competent. Now again, I'm not sure if this took place on May 23rd and the 30 days was already up, because I had heard about these two most recent court dates taking place, but again, because I heard nothing about them, I assumed maybe they didn't, or maybe they were just uneventful. As I brought up before my Chris Chan letters back in the day, I am just completely still not like 100% on all this court stuff, but a lot of you guys down in the comments have always helped me understand it more, so maybe we can talk about this one down there too, because it doesn't look like, again, Daniel's going to be getting out anytime soon, because they still don't even know what like headspace he's in, if he's even going to be like able to go to trial, and he is. They're not going to find him legally insane. A lot of people think they will, but no. Daniel will have to face trial, and it'll be one of the wackiest situations the internet ever seen. And with that, I want to thank all you guys for watching today's video. I wanted to talk about all 7 of these people, but I did not have enough to make a video on each and every one of them. So I decided let's go back to the old tried and true formula of covering them all in one video. I used to do a series on this channel back early on called The Smoke Show, and all those episodes are up for members right now. And this reminded me a lot of doing that. Just talking about all the crazy shit that happened this week and seeing what you guys think of it. So again, I've been saying it a lot in this video, but let me know down in the comments below what you thought of it, if you'd like to see more content like this, or if maybe this wasn't your thing. Let me know about all these people we covered too, if there's anyone you want to see more of. And with all that being said, I just want to say thank you guys for always sticking by me, always having a good time watching these videos, and just know it's always tremendously appreciated. You guys have always been some of the coolest people I've ever met, and it doesn't just understand that it's never lost on me. It's really cool that we all get to chill here, we all get to laugh at these Lolcows, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. I say it all the time, but always have something to look forward to, my friends. We are in the smack dab middle of the summer, and you gotta have something planned for the rest of it. Maybe it's a cool time going out with your friends somewhere, maybe it's a vacation you got planned. Nonetheless, find something, look towards it, and don't you lose that faith, my friends, because it'll be here before you know it, and then you'll find something else to look forward to. That's the cool thing about life. You just always keep pushing forward and always find something that keeps you going. It can be something big like that or something a little bit smaller. Like for me, I'm really excited to chill with my family in a few weeks, and also I'm really excited to get these new dabs in. Like they're apparently just really good dabs, and I cannot wait to try them. Little things like that, my friends. Always have something to get excited about, and life becomes a lot less shitty. And if that doesn't work, you know, when all else fails, just remember one thing. Man, it is great to not be any of the 7 guys in this video right here. With the exception of Tony Chase. You know, if you made pizza like that and had the genetics he does, you'd be ruling the world right now. However, with all that being said, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you on the next one. Take care.